Hello everybody and welcome, I'm Common and Cam. With his recent appearance in Transformers 1 and a brand new toy on the way, there's no better time than any to rank every Megatronus / The Fallen design from worst to best. And who better to join me than the TF hype guy himself.
Hello everyone, I'm basically here because of the new design in the new movie, so I'm pretty sure you can already guess where I'm going to put that one.
Of course you were a fan. Megatronus was the coolest prime, the biggest, the baddest, the toughest.
Since his debut in the Dreamwave Productions War Within comics, he's had a wide range of unique forms over the years, which I think is going to make this tier list very interesting.
Yeah, he surprisingly has a lot of designs, because he's probably the most unique one with the most personality out of them. He's not my favorite, but he is pretty cool.
Revenge is mine.
So without further ado, let's dive straight into the tier names. And first up is a quote from the recent Transformers 1 movie.
You know, Sentinel says Megatronus was the
Strongest prime to ever live. I know, buddy.
Now for the second tier, we will have a quote from Robots in Disguise 2015.
It cannot be. But it is. At long last, Megatronus stands triumphant.
Now for the middle tier, we'll have a quote from the Prime Wars trilogy.
Good. Because I have not come here to play with you.
Now for the second lowest tier, we will have a quote from Revenge of the Fallen.
Only a prime can defeat me. And now, only one remains.
Now for the lowest tier, it of course had to be...
Give me your faith. I rise, you fall.
First up is Dreamwave Productions War Within, the Dark Ages comic book. He was created by Simon Furman and designed by Pat Lee. I think this is the best looking Transformers furnace ever. I mean, it's one hell of a design, quite literally.
Yeah, I think the whole like constantly burning on fire furnace look he has going on is really cool. I love that they just said that they wanted to have him on fire just because. There's no reason, they just thought it looked cool.
You're either going to have serious burn injuries, or you're going to look like a badass, and I think he's doing pretty well. I also really like the tank mode.
I mean, his tank mode's pretty cool as well. I cannot put this anywhere besides the highest tier.
Until recently, the only transformable figure that you could get that captured that War Within look was the titanium figure. This is fully die-cast, and it looks okay, but I just don't vibe with it.
Oh no, and I mean, it's kind of cool how they kind of replicated the flame effect using the pieces on the back, but it's not the best looking figure, but I guess it's decent for what it is.
We'll also throw in the original concept ideas that Pat Lee had for the Fallen, and it kind of gives me Starscream vibes with the head.
I think he looks cool. I mean, the head, to me, resembled the bludgeon with the head crest to me, sort of in a way. But I like the guns, I like the missile pods. I put it in the second highest tier.
If anyone feels up to it, I would love to see this in colour. Next up is the Flame Toys, and it's not transformable, but regardless, this is absolutely badass. I would love to own this. I like everything about this, the chains and the giant ass sword. The flames on his shoulders as well is just, they're so gorgeous.
Wow, this design looks incredible. You don't see chainsaws much in Transformers, and is that like Tarn's head at the end of the chainsaw? That is very cool.
Oh my god, you're right. Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Wow, that's scary.
He sort of has a Pat Lee proportions thing going on, so I wonder if they went for the concept design.
Does this go in front of the original?
I don't know, I think this looks really cool. I'd put it in front of the original.
Unfortunately, it was never made, but we do have a Creo version of the Fallen, and yeah, dude's really trying his best.
He looks like a cute little guy. If it was up to me, I would put him in the very highest. But for now, I think he has to sit, and I have not come here to play with you.
Yep, sorry little dude.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Moving on to the most well-known version of the Fallen, it's the Bayverse, and there's slight differences compared to the promotional render to the actual CGI model. His fins near his head are blue in the film, and despite this at first being a very jarring and not very Transformer-like design, there are still things that I really like about it. I mean, he's voiced by Tony Todd, and I think that makes up for it, to be honest. Dude was set up to be such an epic villain, and he just died in a matter of seconds. But when it comes to the design, I guess my big major criticism is that it's too alien-like it doesn't feel like a Cybertronian, but I still think it's cool in many ways.
I think it's a pretty cool design. I don't like that it doesn't look like it transforms into anything at all, but it is a cool alien design. I think it fits for an alien race that is the originals, you know? It kind of resembles one of the protoforms, but like upgraded in a way. So I think this is a pretty cool design. I like the pieces that attaches to his arms from his torso. I think that's a really cool design trait that he has.
It can only transform. How is that possible?
We never see him transform in the film, so when it came to the toy, Hasbro had to think quick on what does this guy transform into, and we got that with the Voyager class, and despite it still being a solid figure, yeah, that vehicle mode, this guy was not meant to be a transformer. But at least this Target exclusive was able to give this design the flames from the original Dreamwave design, and it just looks so much better, like the design just pops out a lot more.
So I think that's actually kind of cool, the way the arms and head has these little fins that pop out. But I think for what they had and what they had to work with, I think this is done really well. And honestly, I was debating if I need to get the original or the Studio Series toy because I think they're so similar. I think they're like, it really shows that back in the day they did as best as they could for this figure.
I gotta say though, I don't vibe with the blue version.
Yeah, well, this is the re-release that contained the new head, where they remolded the head and gave him the ability to rip it off. So I think this figure wins a few points just for that new feature, and I think the head underneath is terrifying. That is a scary looking head.
I mean, I don't know why you'd want that option, it's disgusting, you want to cover it up, but it was included in the recent Studio Series figure, which I own, and I gotta say, this is pretty neat. I love how huge this guy is.
It is very well detailed, it is very good looking, it's big, it's large, it's imposing. I think the staff is pretty cool. I think the alt mode is decent. It's not the best, but it's decent. I think the blue is a little too much, but I think the ripping off the face gimmick is such a cool detail that they included. And it really like makes it worth the $55 price tag to me.
Precisely.
And because you told me to, we have to mention the Wii version.
This is the version of the Fallen that I knew growing up because I played the Wii game more than I watched the movie. So this is the Fallen that I knew. I think it's decent. It's not terrible because I think for the limitations that they had, it does capture the look of the movie well. I mean, I kind of think that the glowing orange and blacks, they kind of look really good contrasting against each other. All right, I won't be biased. I think it'll sit with the blue and purple one, that odd one. I think it'll sit down there.
Now there are several early concept designs, but I want to talk about this head design because I think it stands out from the rest. Even in 2009 they wanted to make the Decepticon insignia the Fallen's face. And with the film being set in Egypt, they really wanted to emphasize that Egyptian look. I do like it, I think it's a bit too on the nose in some areas, but it's still cool.
For sure, I actually prefer this over the original. I think this is such a cool head, and I love that it looks like the Decepticon logo, which I think is a very cool thing about Megatronus and Fallen designs, whenever his face looks like the Decepticon logo. So to me, I think this is actually an improvement on the original Revenge of the Fallen design.
I will destroy you!
Moving on to the aligned continuity, a very different take. They do include the Decepticon insignia in his head, but it's less obvious like the one we just talked about. I like the giant ass cannon. I think in the Prime universe, this looks pretty cool.
For me, I'm not the biggest fan of this design because I don't like the Covenant of Primus Prime designs. I think they all look a little too generic and similar to each other. And I'm not the biggest fan of this design. I just think it's a little too generic. Other than the fusion cannon, which looks cool, and the Decepticon head crests. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this one.
I spoke only truth. You heard what you wanted to hear.
Where should we put this one then?
Me, I think this is the lowest one so far.
Ooh, okay, we'll see what people think of that one. Well, our next aligned design is in the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 cartoon. He had a whole two-parter to himself where he was the big bad of Season 1. And yeah, this is very different from what we just talked about. He's all purple. I actually like the mix though of the black and purple. And the head design as well is actually pretty neat. I'm just glad that he's got that bulk from the original Dreamwave design.
I like this design. I think it has a cool face mask. I like the face mask. I like the fusion cannon that he has. And he has a pretty good toy as well. So I actually quite like this design. It's not the most interesting. It's kind of generic in a way. But I don't think it's bad at all. I'd put it right smack dab in the middle.
Alright, the next one is a completely bizarre one. This was rejected, and I can see why. It's just the Onslaught Fall of Cybertron toy with flames.
Oh boy. Well, I think we have a clear lowest rank so far.
Alright, moving on to the Prime Wars trilogy. We'll start off with the Power of the Primes design that we see in the cartoon series. He's voiced by Mark Hamill, and There are parts of this design that I really like. From the torso up, I really like this design, but the legs, to me, are just too clunky.
Yeah, he's really chunky down below. He looks like he's wearing bell bottoms.
But that's just how it's animated. When it comes to Forged to Fight, I really do like this.
Yeah, I think this design is just taking everything that Power of the Primes did and just did it so much better. I think this design is pretty darn good, and I've played Forged to Fight a lot, so I've used this character a lot, and let me tell you, I've gotten used to seeing this design, and it's very cool. This was my definitive Megatronus design for a while.
I almost forgot to mention the Prime Master with Bomb Burst.
All of the Primes got individual little toys that turned into the Pretenders. So this is Megatronus Prime, and I think this is definitely not his best design.
You don't say.
I can't imagine why you would want a pile of dust.
Now let's finally talk about the Transformers 1 Megatronus design, where in this movie, he's actually a good guy. He doesn't become the Fallen. And I think this was a smart move in terms of its story, because while, as we can see, his head design is the Decepticon insignia, which plays a crucial part into D16's story. But everything else is just awesome. You can tell that he's the biggest, baddest, and toughest Prime of them all. My one criticism, and this goes for the rest of the Primes, I wish we could have seen their alternate modes.
Giving Megatronus the Decepticon face is always like one of my favorite things. This design is so cool. I think it might be my favorite of the Prime designs in TF1. I love his staff. I love his missile launcher in the back. Oh, this design is just... ooh, chef's kiss. His second best design, in my opinion. His first we haven't actually discussed yet, in my opinion, which is my favorite.
Tied in with the fan art section, I want to give a shout out to TF Aficionado for their 3D printed logo magnets of Megatronus' face. These are so cool. I believe they're at TFCon right now in Baltimore, so if you want Megatronus on your fridge, definitely pick these up.
I don't have any magnets on my fridge, but if I was going to have a magnet on my fridge, it would be this one.
Well, let's talk about it. We have the Age of the Primes. This is a leader class. This was just revealed last week. And this is inspired primarily by the character's appearance in the War Within Dark Ages comic book. And wow, this is awesome. Pat Lee's original design has really come to life with this. I love the flame effects. That's such a nice touch.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this is the thing about this toy. I think, in my opinion, this is his best look. I love the look of this toy. I think this toy looks absolutely phenomenal. I love the flame effects. I love the big, giant cannon he comes with. I love the general stature of it. Just his proportions. He looks beefy and bulky. And I just love this design.
Yeah, I think this takes the #1 spot. I mean, we've come full circle. We started off talking about the original design, and we finish it off by talking about a great figure of it. Now let's talk about some fan art, because I want to celebrate all the great fan art out there. And first up is the Happy Packer, and I'm just lost for words. I love the hands strike me immediately. This dude is just fire.
I am absolutely blown away. This is the Dreamwave design on steroids. This looks incredible. I love how this looks. The flame effects, the tank treads, the guns, everything about it. The head design. Ooh, the head design looks so cool. Yeah, this is gotta be one of my favorites I've seen today.
It wouldn't be a fan art section without mentioning Mesopius's designs, and wow, this is the greatest thighs to ever live. I love this. This is the goth icon for sure. The cape just makes this so awesome.
Wow! I love the cape, I love the staff, I love the Unicron style horns. This design just, ooh, it just oozes evil. It looks incredible.
Another incredible design is by Primus Ibi. I feel like I faced this boss in Elden Ring. This is absolutely badass. A very drastic take. I am all for it. Yes, I love this beast mode.
Beast was the Fallen. Where do I even begin with this one? Just look at it. It looks like horrifying in a good way, you know? Yeah, I like how the chest becomes like a head for the monster mode. Whew, that looks really cool.
Another artist that I've been blessed to see on my feed is Gaming Cretin. I'm a big fan of their Constructicon designs, and I'm a bigger fan of this Fallen design. Wow, he is like a gothic Cybertronian knight. That face design is just so badass. It's like a Dark Souls villain.
Yeah, I think it's actually pulling from the Revenge of the Fallen concept head, the way the shape of the head is and the side pieces. I like the flame bow at the back of the head and the TF1 Megatron fusion cannon, the triple barrel one, and the 2 arms. That's a really cool detail.
You can see the same goes for the other arm because you can see the line in the middle, like he has 4 arms.
Ah, so it splits.
Really cool, I love this. Next art is Shannar and Max Aralfa. I love how these two wildly different designs can still work as the same character. Also, because it's Halloween, I love the fact that he's got a pumpkin bucket.
Oh yeah, I love the little blue highlights and the green highlights on this design here. The purples and the green and the blues, they really stand out. They look really cool. The other one, I think, the almost kind of looks like a moth, and I think there's like a lot of a moth vibe going on to me. And I'm noticing this hole in his chest. Wonder if someone took out something from him.
Gee, I wonder who that could have been. Our next set is from Anti-100 and Locus Focus 2. I really love the animated style that Anti was going for here. A good blend of RID 2015 as well. And I'm also loving the proportion style on Locus Focus's design. A really fantastic take on that Transformers 1 design.
Oh yes, I love the shoulder pads and they kind of look like missile launchers and the Requiem blaster on Anti's design here. Both of these designs share that, and I like the tank treads and stuff. For the other design, I love the blue and the gold and those colors really pop and make it look really cool. I love the exaggerated proportions in a way as well. It's a really cool style. I really like it.
We have more unique designs by the Exotic Guard and the Hollow Knight. And I really love the demon look that Exotic has gone for here. It gives me Black Doom vibes from the Shadow the Hedgehog game. Really creepy and mysterious. I'm terrified.
Well, this one's just so unique. I love the ghostly appearance of him. Wow, he looks sort of like organic when it comes to his feet. I keep saying he's really cool, but all these designs are really cool. So
I'm also happy to feature the Hollow Knight's design as well. I love the red mixing in with the purple. I love the maroon colour. It's one of my favourite colours. And I really like the tribute to the RID 2015 design with the Battle Mask mode. A really awesome looking axe as well.
I didn't expect red and maroon to work so well on the... Does look really good as well. I like his axe, I like the fusion cannon, all the highlights and details. It's just another really good design.
In our next set, we'll talk about Callahan Nikolai's design, and wow, the flames with that cape is badass, and that weapon is huge.
Yeah, that's a really unique weapon as well. It looks like that one bludgeon toy they recently made with the cables for a mouth. I think that looks really cool.
I'm really digging the animated vibes that Optiprimus 217 has gone for here.
I really wonder what the story is behind the head being a different color from the body.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder why. I mean, I can imagine this being in the animated universe. Another animated style that I really like is by Lizard Lane. I love the feet. It's just so animated, and that giant ass cannon as well is super cool.
Yeah, I like how it blends like multiple designs, because that fusion cannon looks like the one from the RID 2015 one. But I also like the shoulder pads in the way that claw shoulder pad looks like the WFC Megatron in a way. The G2 Decepticon logo is a neat touch. It's a neat touch in the center.
And I really love the glow effect that King 2935239 has gone for here. Like, it looks like it's glowing in real time. Jet mode as well. I love the bomber mode that they went with. We have a pre-cog version and post-cog version. And both are fantastic, but that post-cog version, damn, that giant ass sword, he looks lethal.
I like the flame effects in this one because it forms like a cape and like a knight like helmet like feather on the top. I think that looks really cool with the flames. I like the head. It looks like the Dreamwave one mixed with the Power of the Prime / Forge to Fight one. And the wings on the back also look really cool.
Our next great set is by Optimus Rolls and Kiwi AA. I really like what Kiwi has done here. The flames all over the body. That head design is so menacing. Really cool. And Optimus Rolls has done a really great art piece on that Transformers 1 design.
Oh yeah, we gotta pay homage to the TF1 design, and I'm liking his little symbol above his head as well. I think this one looks really cool, and I really like the other one as well because I like the blue eyes. So I'm wondering if this design is supposed to be a good guy still, even though he's on fire and he looks very damaged.
Next up, I'll talk about Rennie Yeti's design, and wow, this art style. Please show me the full body to this because that head design. I wasn't sold on the original concept design on Revenge of the Fallen, but this has definitely convinced me. This is how he should have looked in that film.
Oh yeah, that looks so cool. Wow, those piercing red eyes. That looks so cool. I love that I could actually see what this design could have looked like now. That is so cool. Wow.
With me being a big animated fan, I love what Vex Reno has done here. It's like an evolution of his character. I'm a fan of all of this. I would love to see this complete. I think this definitely fits in the world of animated. All three of them do.
And the animated one, This one also looks really cool because it shows us, like, I'm guessing what is before he falls down into his path of evil. So I think that's a really cool, unique look at him.
More greatness by Mayat Sir and Studios Goji. I really like what Mayat's done with the purple and yellow and that good mix of red as well. A really bulky design, I love it. As well as Goji putting the Transformers 1 design in the animated style. I love this is so cool.
Well, all the fan art of the TF1 design is always so cool to see. The TF1 design just looks good. I think this captures it very well. And the other one by Mayat, I think they're definitely pulling inspiration from the Transformers Prime Dreadwing toy in Legacy. I can tell from the shoulder pads, and I think that's a really good base for the Fallen because it looks so cool with those big shoulder pads and his weapon. Oof, that double-sided, what would you call that, a sickle? That looks really cool.
As you can tell guys, we've had a lot of submissions and there's a lot more to come. I like everything from each and every one of these. I like Pocket Heavy's head style, along with Bomera's as well, and I really enjoy Magnum Hydrox's Fallen. You can just tell this guy is huge, and those flames, super scary. And I'm really digging the vampire style that Alongo has gone for here. I love the cape. And I really like the male and female version that Old K has done as well.
The Fallen just lends himself to some really cool design, doesn't he? All these designs look really cool. I like the one from Magnum Hydrox here. This one is like the Dreamwave one, but it has extra details. It looks like he has a bit of an alt mode going on. I can't really tell fully, but I like it. I like it a lot, and I love all the rest, especially the one from Olongo here. This one, I like the shapes of it, and the Decepticon head and everything. And as you can see, his cog in his chest there, which I'm gonna assume is transformation cog. So I'm guessing it's pulling from TF1 as well. And he has a bit of a cape and like a head crest going on behind him, like part of the cape. That one looks cool.
In our next set, we've got a lot of cute and goofy ones, and I don't know where to begin. I guess we could start with the Johnny Bravo Megatronus. Never in my life did I ever expect Peter Griffin to cosplay as Megatronus. At least I hope that's a cosplay.
That's probably my favorite thing I've seen today. That looks hilarious. I love that.
All of these are amazing, even a simple stick figure.
I love it. It's so cute. I love the stick man. And I like the one for Primal as well. I like the tank mode on that one. The treads, very big and beefy, and they go along the entire side of the tank, and I think they look really cool.
Yeah, I really like Primal's one, and I also really love Phoenix Cole's one as well. This is like so spooky Halloween-like. You know, you can tell there's a pumpkin in there somewhere. And I just love how adorable Lee H has made that Transformers 1 design. We have another fantastic set with a lot of unique designs. I like the tributes to the Transformers 1 design. I like that Lunar Claw has made it look like a painting. And Milos Raven bringing a brand new style to that Transformers 1 design. And I really like the drawing that Giuliano has done with the IDW Fallen. And the unique designs as well by Victor Wilfong and also Gendrung. I like that Victor's not made him this big imposing guy, but rather sort of like, I don't know, I guess he looks like an archivist in some ways. And that Revenge of the Fallen head design has been stylized so well.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, it really looks like a combination of both head designs, and I think that looks great. I'm also really liking the one from Genrung. I think it kind of mixes the Galvatron colors the way that purple looks. And I like the cannon and the flame effects going on. It looks like you can fire a very powerful blast.
We've got so many great pieces of work here. I like that Prime Scourge has given tentacles to that Revenge of the Fallen design. I like Mystic Spino's 3D model of it as well, and the great custom by Elvis Lam Chan. And Primal Knight's design as well is really cool. Lazy Bones just puts all the fire into that head design, really nice.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at this custom from Elvis Lam. I like the custom because I can recognize that mold. That's the Combiner Wars Onslaught. And the fact that they transformed that into the Fallen and they gave him the fusion cannon from what I'm assuming is Siege Megatron, that one grabs my attention. That one looks really cool. And I like the reuse of the mold. I'm also liking the 3D model from Mystic Spino down here. That model looks really well done.
Now for our final fan art set, we have Speed Tuffy doing a great interpretation of that Power of the Primes design. I also like Maximus MC's Blokes custom, really nice. Rex 4 Autobot also does a great 3D model, really menacing, really nice. Also menacing is Razorus M's design. I mean, wow, I love that cape, and he looks like a general, a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Oh yeah, I love custom figures, so to see this custom figure of the Fallen, that one looks really cool. Sorry, not Fallen, this is Megatronus because he's from TF1. I like the 3D model as well, taking inspiration from that Titanium toy, which we haven't seen much inspiration from that one.
Because we love every single one of these fan art designs, they belong in their own tier, and we're going to call it the biggest, the baddest, the toughest.
I was just about to say that. I was scrolling up to look at the trailer to see if we had that in there yet.
Yeah, guys, like all of these are just amazing. There's no particular order. Every single one of these fan art designs adds something new to the table.
I love the variation, all the fan art I like the inspirations they've pulled from all his continuities. I feel like we've seen a mixes of everything at this point.
Big thanks to everybody who submitted their artwork. If you want to submit your artwork, be sure to give me a follow on Twitter so you know when I'll be covering the next character. And there we have it, guys. That's every Megatronus and the Fallen design ranked from worst to best. And I think ultimately, my favorite one has got to be that Transformers 1 design.
No, the TF1 design is great. I love we've had a definitive look at him in a movie, especially. So he's up there with one of the best designs from that movie.
You picked the wrong planet.
Of course, let me know which is your favorite design in the comment section below. I'd like to thank TF Hype Guy for joining me. I gotta say, this has been a lot of fun.
The highlight for me is looking at all this fan art. This fan art is so cool, seeing all these variations in design. Thank you for having me on.
If you haven't already, please go watch Transformers 1 in the cinemas if you can, or buy it on digital.
It's leaving theaters now, so get your last chance to watch it. Go and check it out as soon as you can. And if you can't check it, then it's on digital.
Thanks for watching, guys. I've been Common and Cam, and to keep updated on the next Transformers character design, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and click that notification bell to get all updates instantly. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Now I claim your son.